Also, we're also aware that the foundation of these students' self-esteem is on the line here. If the school does close, how will that affect the kind of treatment and special skills that they will be able to acquire in a mainstream environment?
Yeah, most of our students come from the intermediate units, and they come in to us from settings where they have most of the time been the only deaf student there. And they have spent their school day sitting in a desk with an interpreter in front of them with minimal communication going on other than to the interpreter and to the teacher in the classroom.
Sounds lonely.
It's very lonely, and it's very sad, and it's very isolating. And what we see happen here is, you know, after sometimes just 2 days, it's amazing. It's just like water going on a seed in the ground. You know, the plant just starts blooming, and it's inspiring to us. It's good for the kids. Some of the kids don't know American Sign Language, but they pick it up very quickly, and they see very quickly that really this was my native language all the time. And so there instantly is a comfort level that did not exist anywhere in their world, at home or in school.
Do you think it would be helpful maybe to offer a program where public schools could come in for even a day or an hour, or to actually sit in on listening or watching what actually goes on in a classroom, so they may be able to take maybe extra credit or something to actually learn how to adapt to this culture?
Are you speaking of deaf students?
I'm talking to bring in mainstream students who are hearing, bring them into the school and give them the opportunity to actually understand that there's a different culture here.
We do that all the time. We do that with all the universities in the area. They're always coming here for observation hours or internships. We do it with Girl Scout troops. We do that with many children. This is a fascinating field to many people, and it's a specialized field, and people who are deaf and hard of hearing don't necessarily feel that they're even a part of special education. It's a specialized education, which is very, very different. These are students who are very bright, and with the right opportunities and with the proper education and the proper language literacy teaching, they excel. And we see that not just AYP, average yearly progress, but ADP, average daily progress. It's very important to us. And I tell people this, we not only know our students by name, but we know them by heart.
Wonderful. We also would like to ask you that the proposal is also that if the school does close, how are we to be guaranteed that there will be a facility where these students don't have to transport? They said that Pittsburgh is not going to be an option. We don't have anything in writing, or you don't have any documentation to conclude this evidence, do you?
I have nothing. I have nothing, and that's the huge concern with our parents and with how all of this has begun to evolve. The school that they're speaking of is a private school. It is a business within itself. To run athletic programs, to run a dormitory residence program, to run all the programs that we have, that we offer to our students, to me, I do not see how a school could run both and it be financially feasible.
Doesn't sound like a possibility, especially in today's economic destruction. I thought that I overheard you mention in last night's program, also on the WVIA, about the school also serving as a resource for deaf children who are in mainstream schools to actually come here for extra.
Yes, we do that, and the students do come here. As a matter of fact, we're working right now with Dunmore School District in this area. We have a student who is mainstreamed there and chooses to learn American Sign Language. And so they have allowed that student to come, with parent permission, of course, to come 2 hours a day to our school, you know, to be exposed to American Sign Language. And then we offer summer camps for children who are in mainstream programs. As I have said, many times deaf students are in programs where they may be the only deaf student, or they may be just a few, and they love the opportunity of meeting other deaf students, to learn, to meet them as new friends, to gain more socialization skills, to just be a kid.
Okay, also, not every teacher can teach every student. Sometimes you need quite a variety of faculty and role models. And I also would like to ask you, what is your advice to the teachers and to the students out there who aren't right now being affected by more opportunities to have more interpreter role models than just one student per interpreter?
Yeah, that's always a situation that we can step in and provide some resources. Most of the students that are in mainstream programs, their interpreters do communicate with them in American Sign Language. However, it's always good for a student to have more exposure, to have more socialization opportunities, to learn language. Just like I'm speaking to you, I'm learning things from you by getting to know you. And that's the same thing with any student when they're learning a language and socialization skills. You want to present as many opportunities as possible for young people so that you don't have gaps in learning, or because deaf students, they don't hear. And so their acquisition of language comes through visually. And the more visual information that is presented in different environments, that is important for them. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a specialized way to teach. Our teachers have to be highly qualified in this area, and you have to have the passion. You have to have the passion to appreciate another language, whether you be deaf or hearing. We have deaf teachers, we have hearing teachers, and that's something else I want to point out. When students come to us, they are exposed to very positive role models that are deaf, and that's important. When a child is growing up, they need to have role models that they can identify with and model their behavior from. So we intentionally recruit, hire, and seek deaf professionals to work here for that reason. They expose the children to more language, but they also expose the children to how you make it in the world as a deaf person. They have the opportunity to see a deaf person literally working every day. That's powerful.
Very empowering. We have deaf actresses and actors, and the thing about that is, until I saw a couple movies a couple years ago, I really never gave it any thought that they would achieve such a status to go in front of public and still be able to just interact on a regular TV show or a political debate.
Yeah, that comes with the skill too. That's a skill of learning how to advocate for yourself, learning how to work with an interpreter, just like a Spanish-speaking person would work with an interpreter. Those are all skills that are taught here with interpreters, so that when students leave here, they understand the purpose of an interpreter and how to utilize the interpreter to make sure they're getting their message and their point across. And that's what actresses and actors do too. They have been taught how to do that, how to watch, how to monitor, to make sure that they are indeed signing or saying what they intend for them to do. I have seen deaf people working on their PhDs, utilizing an interpreter. And they are so adept at utilizing an interpreter that they watch the interpreter, and they watch the interpreter so closely that they know when that interpreter has made not necessarily a mistake or not said something the way they wanted it said. It's fascinating.
That is fascinating. Well, I really want to appreciate you right now, just for the moment, for being here with us today. We really thank you, and we really hope that more people will understand the deaf culture more by this interview today.
Thank you very much. We need all the support and kindness and goodwill that we can put together.